Hey everyone, my name is Jim Nish. I'm the Vice President of Licensing and Business Development at the Brand Art Group. And I'm going to spend the next 10 or 15 minutes walking you through our group rights program for the 24-25 season. As many of you may be aware of, we are working collaboratively with Drake University and you as student athletes to develop NIL opportunities, both on the licensing side and the sponsorship side. So if you give me 2 seconds here, I'm just going to share my screen and I'll walk you through a little bit about the program, what's available, and how it works. First slide I'd just like to go through is a little bit about who we are as an entity. So as I mentioned, from a Brand Art Group perspective, our role in the NIL ecosystem is we collaborate with schools to develop licensing opportunities and active use opportunities on behalf of you, the college student athletes. We've got a deep history in this, having worked previously with the various players associations in pro sports, the NBPA, the NFLPA, Major League Baseball. And really our goal and objective here is to bring meaningful opportunities to you, the student athletes. Currently, we're working with about 90 schools across the country and about 17,000 student athletes. So what we do is pretty broad in scope. I want to take a second here, talk about group licensing. What is it and how it works? So really, there are two different aspects of licensing and active use in the NIL ecosystem. One is the individual NIL, which is really your ability to market yourselves as individuals with brands, licensing companies, or other entities of that nature. The group rights space, which is the space that we live in, really allows licensees and sponsors access to the collective use of your NIL rights individually, co-branded with the school logos. So what we're able to bring to the marketplace is co-branded opportunities that include the Drake Bulldog marks, as well as each of your individual NIL marks. Our definition of a group is really simple. It's 3 or more players from one sport or 6 or more from all sports. And we'll talk a little bit more about how we put together programs and opportunities. Having said that, let's take a look at some athlete revenue opportunities. So our revenue streams in NIL really break down into 2 different sectors. One is the passive use, which is basically your NIL used on licensed apparel and other products. And from the sale of that product, you as student athletes receive a royalty on the sale of each licensed product sold. And I'll talk a little bit about how the finances work in a second. On the active use side, we take groups of 3 or more student athletes and utilize them in sponsorship campaigns. It could be campaigns that are locally driven, campaigns that are nationally driven, but again, our role as from a TBG perspective is to procure a rights fee for each student athlete who participates in those active use programs. Jumping ahead here, I want to focus a little bit on licensing and show you what's new for the 24-25 season across the licensing campaign. So within the context of our NIL program, we work specifically with 2 direct-to-consumer licensees. One is called Athletes Thread, which offers student athletes multiple apparel opportunities across different category subsets. So what Athletes Thread will do for you as you opt in, they will create individual product pages for each student athlete. For those sports who wear jerseys, you'll have replica jerseys available. And new this year is a really cool line of NIL jackets and headwear. And you can see here there's an illustration of some of the products that are available to you, the student athlete, through Athletes Thread. Similar to Athletes Thread, Athletic Solutions is offering a broad cross-section of product from Adidas co-branded jerseys for football, basketball, as well as other NIL products, whether that be headwear, drinkware, mugs, anything really your friends, family, fans can purchase would be available through Athletes Thread site. So let's talk a little bit about the FAQs, and we've done the presentation now at 90 schools. So why opt in? Well, by opting in, you give us permission to activate your NIL opportunities across these various licensees and product lines. So all the product that I just shared with you, Unless you opt in, you can't get access to those products. So if you want a jersey, a sweatshirt, coffee mug with your name and number on it, you need to opt into the program. And in exchange for opting in, student athletes will receive a royalty from the sale of each product that's sold. Now, the way our program works, we pay out royalties on a quarterly basis, and the rates that we pay out are higher than pro sports and higher than a lot of other NIL programs in the collegiate ecosystem. A question we get asked a lot is, if you opt into our program, do you give up your individual right to do other NIL opportunities as an individual? And the answer to that question is no. You are fully capable of still continuing to do individual deals. Again, our focus is really on group rights and not individual rights. So certainly you still maintain that individual opportunity. Our program is 100% voluntary, and you can opt out at any time, as another anecdote. A couple of other questions here. What do we need from you? It's really simple. In a second here, I'm going to provide you a QR code that you can scan with your phone. And once you scan that code, it will take you to an online opt-in process, which takes all of maybe a minute. So it's really easy. And then why do you want to work with TBG? Well, as I said, we've got a vast history of working in the group rights space with other players associations, and what we've been able to build in the college ecosystem. We feel strongly that it will be conducive to helping you as a Drake student athlete create more opportunities in the NIL space, have some really cool product produced, and make some money while you're doing it. So at that, I will leave this QR code up here. You can scan it with your phone. It really is a simple process. And once you opt in, if you opt in today, you will have your product live on both of these NIL apparel sites within 5 to 7 business days. So it's really simplistic, and we strongly encourage you all to opt in so that we can get to work on your behalf. That being said, I'd just like to take this time to thank each of you for walking through this video with me. If you have any questions, here's my contact information. Please feel free to reach out to me individually, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thanks again for watching, and good luck this season.